Hi, I'm Evan. This is the Only Empty Hands channel, and you can come to this channel if you want to learn Kempo Karate katas, techniques, and also receive training tips. What I'm going to talk about today is part of my personal safety playlist that I'm doing, and I'm going to talk about pre-attack indicators. So I've already done something talking about environmental awareness that's on this playlist, but this one comes down to when you're face-to-face with somebody, how do you know that you might be in danger? How do you know that they're anticipating attacking you? So on the street, as a police officer, this is something I've dealt with a lot, constantly having to evaluate whether someone's a threat or not, or if they're going to comply when we need to take them into custody. But this expands into a lot of different areas of your life. People get aggressive sometimes. Sometimes bullying will happen where people are aggressive with you. Sometimes you're in a situation where you don't know people and they might be planning to take advantage of you or rob you, those kinds of things. So there are lots of ways that you can tell that somebody's intent is to hurt you before they actually raise their fist and throw a punch or try to grab you or throw you on the ground. So I made a list, and it's a very intense list here on this sticky note, but I'm going to just go through them with you because I didn't want to forget any of them. And these are some of the things that you can watch for. So the first one is scanning. So if somebody is going to attack you and they're at all tactically aware and smart, they're going to start looking around. Who else is here? What are their escape routes? What's going on? Those kinds of things. And you'll see them start doing that. So they may be talking to you, they may appear calm, but they're going to start checking out what's going on. They'll even start scanning you. They may fixate on the area of your body that they're going to attack. If you're armed, they're going to look at the firearm that you're carrying or the knife you're carrying. They're just going to do different things that show you that their focus is on something different than just having a conversation with you or going about whatever other business they have. The next one I put on here is a change in the pitch of their voice. Anytime we get stressed or nervous, our voice usually raises a little bit. So you might notice something like that. They're talking normally, all of a sudden they get more agitated, their pitch of their voice starts going up, it gets tighter in their throat, that kind of thing. Swearing, okay, that's a very aggressive thing sometimes when it's used. So somebody starts yelling at you and swearing at you, that could be a very good sign that the next step is that they're going to assault you somehow. For those that work in security or law enforcement, somebody who refuses to obey a lawful request, or for a private citizen, somebody who refuses to leave you alone, get out of your house, get off your property, get away from your car, those kinds of things. Someone who is ignoring a valid request, hey, don't talk to me that way, please get back, get out of my space. Anybody who's not complying with reasonable requests like that, for some reason they're trying to dominate you and force themselves on you. That's a big red flag. Emptying their hands or rolling up their sleeves, okay? May sound kind of strange, talk about that because it seems pretty obvious if I start going like this, but I've seen plenty of video footage of people actually doing that where you see something change in their mind and they actually start physically preparing, put down the thing they were carrying, roll up their sleeves, kind of stretch and move around, change how their posture is. They're physically preparing to assault you. If you watch their body, you'll see those things coming, and again you think, whoa, wait, why? What's going on? Why are they doing this? Hesitating when they're answering you. If you're talking about one thing and it takes them a minute and it was a simple question, well, their mind's busy doing something else, and it might be something that's dangerous to you. Dropping a leg back. So if I'm talking normally to someone like this, where my feet are squared up, right, I don't have a great position to fight from, but if I'm talking to you and I go like this, well, now I'm in a really good fighting position. It's another red flag. Talked about glancing at the target, watching your chin, you'll see those kinds of things. Clenching, see it in their jaw, they'll tighten their face up, their neck, the muscles will start to bow, clench their fists, tighten up, those kinds of things. Blinking, either fast or slow. So we have a normal rate of blinking in a conversation, but when somebody starts moving their eyes really fast like I'm doing, or they lock their eyes open and get that really intense stare, again, something's changed in their physiology and their mindset. Could be a sign that they're about to attack you. Nostril flare, okay, that's another thing. Taking in more oxygen, getting ready to fight, that'll naturally happen where we'll flare our nostrils. Flanking, So if you and I are talking straight onto each other like this, we're both in a fairly equal position as far as our balance, that kind of thing. If the person starts to move off to the side, well, now they're trying to take advantage of position and put you in a worse position. If there's more than one person and they're here and then all of a sudden someone goes over there and somebody else goes over there, that's a pretty big sign that you're in trouble. Furrowed brow, pursed lips, these are all just facial changes going back to that tension that I talked about. Dilated pupils. So if someone's pupils are huge, that can be a sign of adrenaline coursing through them. Also could be a sign that they're on drugs, which makes them dangerous to you. Pinpoint really small pupils, same thing. That could be a sign that they're on drugs, especially if, say it's dark out and their pupils are small, or it's really light out and they have giant pupils. There's something altered in their state. If they're on drugs, they're dangerous because they're not there mentally. If they're full of adrenaline because they're angry at you, then they're also dangerous to you. Hiding their hands. Somebody who comes up and does something unusual with their hand, starts to stick it back up their back, places where people commonly carry weapons, and they're coming up with a hand in that position. Okay, that should be another red flag, something that sets your warning sirens off in your head. Mouth breathing can be one, a change like that. Touching their face, people will kind of do some of these soothing, moving their hands, that kind of thing. Self-soothing, again, it's just a sign that somebody's nervous and somebody's agitated. So depending on the context, that could be a sign that you're in trouble. Crossing their arms, withdrawing, kind of coming back. You see something like this and you see their eyes get big, and I just took up a stance. Okay, well, I just closed myself off to whatever you're saying, plus I took on a more aggressive posture. Again, might be a sign that you're in danger. Hands on their hips, kind of getting that condemning, lecturing sort of position. I'm bigger than you, puffing myself up, chest comes out, I'm going to dominate you, I'm trying to scare you. Again, all things that you should be watching for. Somebody pacing, okay? You have a person who, just back and forth and they just can't hold still. Well, they're full of energy, and if there's going to be a confrontation, then it could be that that energy is going to get directed into you. Stalling and arguing, people who won't, again, those of you that are in a situation where you're giving reasonable requests or lawful requests and somebody's not complying with those, well, they're probably thinking of a plan, right? They're coming up with their next argument, or they're coming up with a plan to attack you. And then last one, this is kind of for fun, but I took a class once where the guy was like, now one of the biggest signs that someone's going to attack you is they just, they're just talking to you and they start stretching out, right, warming themselves up, maybe throwing a few punches and things like that. Well, that also might be a sign that they're planning to attack you. So, hope that was helpful to you. Again, I just want you to open your mind a little bit, start seeing everything that's there on a little more conscious level. Program yourself where your brain's going to pick some of these things up because you've learned to watch for them and you've talked about them. I would suggest, there are videos on YouTube where you can see people who get in fights. I don't think it's a great habit to sit around and watch people hurt each other, but if you've never been in that kind of situation, so you have no context for it, I would suggest that you watch a little bit of what happens when people actually do get into an altercation with each other. Because what it's going to do is if that ever happens to you, it's going to prepare you so that you know what should be coming without having to experience it yourself, where you get hurt and then you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. Now I know what it looks like, but I got a broken nose, right? That's not what I would hope is going to be your learning path. So, hope you have a great day and stay safe. You're welcome to subscribe to the channel. There's a lot on here that you can learn from that'll help you stay safe and also be healthy. Have a great day.